Hello and welcome to Clarissa K Explains It All, where we use this opportunity to share some time with each other and talk about the hot topics surrounding our collective consciousness. Hello, I'm Clarissa. Thank you for joining me in this space where we get an opportunity to share some time with each other. And this week we have another amazing guest. We have Kristin Richardson, who is a nutritional therapist and naturopath who empowers heart-centered women to take control of their health and regain their energy. Excellent. So say hi, Kristin.
Hello, everyone. It's amazing to be here. Thank you for having me, Clarissa.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So how's things been for you?
Oh, well, obviously exciting. Doing what you love is amazing, but also challenging. You know, the last year and a bit have been challenging for everyone.
Yeah.
So obviously I can see that in myself, but I can see it in my clients.
Tell us more about what you do. What is it that you do for people?
So I am a nutritional therapist and naturopath. So I offer natural healing for the body, mind, and spirit. Mainly it is based on nutritional therapy. So I advise on healthier ways of eating, giving, a protocol that is tailored to the individual, because obviously everyone works differently, has different health issues, etc. That includes nutrition, hydration, supplementation, which is purposeful, so not just anything, and also naturopathic techniques, which allow to take the things out of the body. So I'm not just about putting the right nutrition in, I'm also about taking the toxins, the buildup out of the body at the same time. But because we're talking body mind, it is all linked to, good habits, good self-care. So I work with colleagues who cover like yoga or Reiki and healing, so that I would draw on that as well in terms of recommending people to other practitioners, because it is not just about what we eat.
That sounds amazing. We're definitely on the right page here, because I do think it's about intention. It also creates our health as well with that relationship, and obviously you said with food. So I definitely resonate with that. So how did you get into it? It's so intricate what you're doing, you're basically advising people about the relationship they have with themselves, the environment they create, and their nutrition. So how did you get into that?
Yeah, so really my training has always been as a communication professional, and I've worked in various roles in that, in corporate environments and private agencies across the world, really, because I'm German and I lived in different countries. But I've always been interested in medicine. I actually had a place for medical school when I graduated high school. But I always wanted to travel, and I could never see myself working in a hospital, shift work, and living in different places in the world. I just don't like the shift work, which I understand now as well. Why? Because my body clock just does not agree with being awake at night. So when I got pregnant the second time around, what used to be probably IBS in my 20s, in my late 30s, turned into chronic sinusitis. So it was like a little cold, and it really stuck. I thought, well, I'll give birth to the baby and the cold. But the cold stuck and got worse and worse and worse. And with a 3-month-old baby and a 2-year-old toddler, I was unable to take care of them because I had to go and lie down in a dark room with migraine-like excruciating headaches. And the doctors kept giving me antibiotics, another course, more steroids. And, in the end, I think I had 5 courses. I didn't take all of them because I just, in my core, I knew after 2 courses, this is not the solution. This doesn't even touch it. There's got to be something else out there that will help me. And obviously I want to be there for my family. And that was my motivation, to look for alternatives. And I'd always known about alternatives because I grew up in the countryside. I had a very natural upbringing. When I lived in Sydney, Australia, it's very common to go and see alternative practitioners. So with my IBS then, I always looked 5 months pregnant without even a boyfriend. I went and saw a naturopath, and she helped me extremely. I also saw an acupuncturist, and that helped me extremely as well. But then as I moved and came to the UK, I was fine for quite some time, but slowly but surely these symptoms crept up more and more. So much so that I was incapable to care for my family. And that was the tipping point, which led me to find a really good practitioner here that helped me. She was a herbalist, but she used nutritional elements. And from there, then I thought, I changed my diet for 3 months. I did an elimination diet. I dropped everything that is inflammatory. The list she gave me blew my mind. I thought, how is milk an inflammatory ingredient? Dairy, because we're all being told, I'm feeding this to my kids, that, this is a necessity in life. And obviously it helped me, it healed me. It turns out I'm gluten intolerant. That's it. Don't eat gluten, don't have any symptoms. I don't need any antibiotics. I don't need any steroids. The final thing that broke the straw, camel's back, was when the doctor said to me, oh, don't worry, we'll just operate, cut into your face. And I said, no, we're not. Thank you. I'm going to go and look for alternatives and help myself. And that's really how I came to this. And I started to study it because I really wanted to teach my kids the right things. Because I had found a way of eating and living that would sustain me, but I wanted to know more. And then I wanted to share it with my family first and foremost. But when I found out I could make a career out of it and share this with the world, I thought everybody needs to know this. This needs to be taught in schools to our children.
It's amazing, because I'm like yourself, I look at the alternatives because sometimes it is about how you feel. Our feelings, they can generate certain symptoms over time. The stresses of our environment, interact with us, and they create symptoms. We're trying to find out what it is, and it's very, very easy to go to a doctor. And I'm not dismissing institutionalized medication, because some people, that's the solution they need. But then there are those who would like alternatives. They have a relationship between our emotions and what our body creates as alarm bells, I suppose. And your body was trying to help you to acknowledge you had to go through a process. Although yes, these alternative medicines can seem a bit kind of out there, because it can take longer to get to the process of understanding what it truly is, rather than just getting a very quick solution from the doctor. Once you get there, you go on this journey of understanding yourself, understanding exactly what your body needs, understanding how you feel about things and how that relates to everything, how that it projects out into your environment. So that's amazing what you do, and the fact that you've made it a career, honey. Yes, that's what we're saying. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, love it.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more with you, Clarissa, because I have never felt better than when the moment I made all these changes. I've never had more energy. I've never been slimmer. I've never felt sexier than, I'm in my mid-40s and I look better than when I was in my mid-20s. I feel better. I have more energy. And it's not because I need the coffee in the afternoon and the Snickers bar, which is what I used to think I needed 20 years ago, 10 years ago, probably still. And I'm modeling this kind of life now for my children.
Funny, isn't it? Because the patterns that we get into, and then when we start recognizing them, all those patterns that we have to unravel and then introduce new ones, and this takes a lot of time, dedication. It's a daily process. I went on a similar journey to you. Like, how I eat now is completely different. If you look at my meals, you're like, oh, there's all these different colors, there's different types of veg, what is this? My mum the other day, when I cooked her a meal, she was like, this is interesting, red quinoa, what's that?
Oh yeah, you can ask the women in my Well Women's Club, the Facebook group that I run for free. They will laugh and all my clients, they all know about quinoa.
Yeah.
Go on and on about it.
It's staple, honey. Okay, so we're getting through the latter part of the year now, 2021, and we're feeling like some things have definitely made changes. Some things, are they've started to feel the same. We're definitely getting into what is the signature of this decade. So, what do you think? Because we've got also some residual from 2020. What do you feel like your biggest lessons from 2020, 2021 has been for you?
It's twofold, really. Number one is to go within. Because we can all be so busy with this life, so consumed with, in my case, running the kids around to their things, like trying to fit my own things in, etc., etc. The other one is the answer's already there. We just have to switch our perspective and look at it in a different way to find the answer. And actually, it all goes together, these two things. To go within, the answer's already there. The answer is inside of us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, and this is what's happened as well with the 2020 experience we've had, because we had no choice but to really kind of isolate exactly what we felt, because there was so much less distractions. I think it was probably hard for a lot of people to kind of wrestle with their true self, like in their own environment. What does their happiness look like? So I think you're right. You had to go within, whether we liked it or not. There were some battles I think a lot of people had to overcome. And whether it's still there, I mean, it's not like things are gonna just change overnight. But I think definitely some things, have been revealed to our collective consciousness, what we need.
I think it's had a bigger impact on the receptiveness of people to the work that I do, for example, because it isn't that established yet here in the UK, that people would think automatically, oh, well, I'll go with the doctor first, but then I'll also look for my alternatives. So I think lots of people are looking at wanting to heal naturally, wanting to find long-term solutions, natural ones that do not have any side effects, but that actually heal them. And it's not a short-term solution. It's not a quick fix ever with natural healing, because we usually take a long time to make our body poorly. Therefore, it takes a long time to heal it. But a long time can even be a few weeks. It doesn't have to be years. It depends really what it is.
Yeah. So that nicely fits into what are the solutions that you offer then?
As you said nicely before, so I help women mainly over 40, so kind of my age bracket to 60, who have usually very low energy and have lost their zest for life, to regain the control over their health and feel empowered, and then regain their zest for life naturally by addressing mind, body, and spirit, as I said before, through nutrition, hydration, supplementation, naturopathic techniques, and mindfulness and lifestyle adjustments.
That's amazing. So what do you think your most successful solution has been? What would your clients say about their outcomes?
That, just simple changes. And my aim is always to make it simple. Whatever I give them to do, whatever recipe I recommend, it's about simplicity, so that they feel empowered that they can do that. So I've had clients turn around, whether it was doing an online course with me or doing a few sessions with me, to say, I can't believe how much better I feel from making these simple few little changes. And obviously they say, I can't wait to learn more from you, because if I can do this in a short amount of time, what can I do long term?
Yeah, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. So you said you spoke before about some of the things, the reason why you got into it, and the drive because of your own health. What other things do you think you've had to overcome that people can connect with?
I don't know how to describe it, because in my 20s I always had the niggles about my body, and I felt like I would call it big boned, and well, I just have to live with it. And when you get older, well, you're going to have the niggles, and all these beliefs that society has, that I found to be totally untrue, because I've done this transformation of my inner self simply by changing my nutrition. My whole body, mind, spirit have transformed to a lighter being in every way, lighter in terms of weight, lighter in terms of beliefs, lighter in spirit. It's just been an amazing journey, but obviously it's been a journey of many years, and I'm still on that journey. There's still lots more to discover, but it's really, really exciting to be on this journey together, especially with other women. And that's why I've set up this Facebook group, the Well Women's Club, that anyone is free to join, to just support each other and to give each other that accountability, whilst dishing out, if you will, the simple nutrition hacks and mindfulness and lifestyle hacks that will help. People can just implement one little baby step at a time.
That's perfect, and that's what it takes, just to introduce a new pattern and to break old habits. I think you're right. We spend our 20s living out the conditioning that we've been taught. We've got to have this, education, get married, kids, all these things we start thinking about in the 20s. Then we hit the 30s and we're like, wait a minute, life doesn't feel the way it's supposed to. It doesn't feel like you had this, almost you were raised with this guarantee of a certain feeling, and by 30 you're like, wait, something doesn't feel the way it should. So we go on this exploration, and then you start to go on an exploration of unraveling all these patterns, all the condition that you've had. Who are you? Who are you really? Who is your true identity? And so it's wonderful that along that journey you've made it. When you get into your 40s, it is the time where you just like, okay, you let go certain things. You have no choice but to think about all the things relating to women that you didn't think about in your 20s. The menopause and issues that we can't do about it. They just come in regardless. So we have to face all these realities as we get older. And then we have to go through the process of undoing everything that we thought was, supposed to be attached. And because of, societal norms, expectations, this is where it all comes from. Personally, I like to feel free in the things that I do. And it's great that you've created a space for women to be able to, lean on each other, get support from each other, because it's not easy to do it by yourself. If especially you're talking about accountability every day, just dropping in and say, hi, I tried this recipe today, or, I'm feeling like this today. It's great to have that support. And I think it really helps with the healing of women as well, because women feel wounded. And I think especially with regards to women connecting with women, we always feel like there could be a little bit of animosity there until we get to know each other, or some things. So women to be able to support each other in that way, and it creates an inner healing as well. It heals the mother-child relationship, the inner child relationship. It's really, really beautiful, like to be able to heal that feminine part of ourselves by supporting each other. I love it.
Absolutely awesome.
So I went on a tangent there. It got me passionate about it all. I just love it. So thank you.
But that's what you're doing, isn't it? Creating a space for women to heal and to get together and do it collectively. And that's what's so beautiful about it, because we need to be each other's advocates and support system.
Yeah, definitely. Support and anchors, especially if we're all moving into this direction where we're connecting with our emotional intuition. We do need to have that support along the way. I think it's wonderful. Love it. So, Kristin, we're nearly at the end. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
One of the main aims of my group really also is to inspire women into graceful aging. Because I think as a society, we are so blinded. You have a lot of beliefs that are completely counterproductive to aging gracefully, because, we think, well, the ailments will come. Yet, I really want people to understand that there is a way to really strongly counteract that by prevention work, through letting food be the medicine and the medicine be the food, which is what Hippocrates said thousands of years ago, because that is really the base of it. You do not have to go down that route of weight gain, illnesses, diseases, degenerative diseases. It's because of how we have started to live as a society over the last 100 years. That's what's causing most of these diseases and illnesses. And that's what's stopping us from aging gracefully, from living our best life, from having that zest, from, having vitality, looking good, being trim. I lost a lot of weight when I changed my diet and the way I ate. I was nearly a size 16 around the hips, and I went down in a year or so to a size 8. I've never been a size 8, not even when I was 17. You know, nobody has to suffer if they just know the tricks of how to eat well and how to use food as medicine, because we don't really need anything else.
Again, it's the patterns from the condition that we've got to eat certain things, convenient lifestyle as well. So we forget the intuitive eating. We forget that we're meant to listen to our body, and then we eat accordingly. Our energy level dips, we've got to have a coffee, we've got this, like you were saying before. This is all part of the convenience life that we've created. So I think what you're doing is truly amazing, because you're just helping people to recognize, you know, what their pattern is, and how they can create their own pattern, essentially having control over their life. They can still introduce whatever they need, you know, to get them by without feeling like they need to rely on something that's essentially artificial.
Yeah, exactly. And I love giving women healthy alternatives to whatever they're craving, whether that's their coffee or their snack bar in the afternoon, and explaining to them, you know, how they can make that work as a whole, and why, for example, they're craving in the afternoon.
So for coffee, I'm not really a big fan of coffee, but sometimes I feel like, you know, maybe I need one a month. But what would you say is a good replacement for coffee?
Okay, so, well, obviously, you know, I love coffee. I have one a day. But it's a really good quality. Quality goes always over quantity. Those two things you always have to ask yourself. So the best quality usually satisfies much quicker. Also, usually the better quality costs more, so it makes you more aware, and maybe it makes you enjoy it more. Because fast food, cheap food, you can just easily binge it. Whereas if you go to an expensive, I'm just making an example, restaurant, then you probably savor that a lot more. So the quality of your food comes in what you eat. But for coffee, I would definitely recommend raw cacao hot chocolate. So that would be in the afternoon when I'm thinking like, I fancy a nice hot drink, something that's nourishing. And coffee can be so much about that emotional ritual. What need are you trying to actually feed here, right? Bit of self-care is usually what it is. So yeah, raw cacao hot chocolate is a fantastic replacement. It is full of nutrients, superfood. It's amazingly relaxing to your muscles and your nervous system, full of magnesium, and there's really nothing can go wrong with that one. On the other hand, if someone wants a bit of a different taste, is dandelion root coffee, it's called, but there is no caffeine in it whatsoever.
That sounds amazing. I might try that myself. Okay, so just in closing, Kristin has got one-to-one clinics. She also runs courses. She's got an online shop where she's got recipe ebooks, and obviously she spoke about her wellness club as well. So I'll put all the details of that in the description. It's been amazing to speak with you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to have a chat with you. It's been great.
Thank you, Clarissa.
You're welcome. Okay, and if you liked our connection, please share it in the places where you care. And until next time, take care. Bye.